if a member of your family, a close member of your family, was caught in a terrorist attack. Because what happens is like if you have a son, a brother that was terrorist, so they can destroy your house. So the house he was living in, this is automatic. They do it automatically.
Okay. Shalom. How's it
Yeah.
going, Sam?
What's up? What's going on, man?
Good to see you, brother.
Greetings, Sam. Good to see you, bro.
Good to see you too. Have you seen that link I sent you on your mail?
No, let me quickly see.
No, yeah, I was invited on Matthew Hakim.
Oh, the Matthew Hakim one. Yes, I haven't watched it though yet.
And he's getting like you're being attacked by everybody. The guy is my buddy, but again, I don't know what people have. I don't see nothing wrong with you. I claim that all over the place. I don't know why people just go fucking crazy with you. I don't know. I don't understand. They tell me because you have friends. You're friends with McToon or some.
What? Wait. Yeah, friends with McToon.
This is what I heard. That's what I heard. Yeah. That's what I heard. That you're friends with the other side.
I'm sorry.
How the hell?
You know, in the last time I actually had McToon ever on my channel was when he called me a wife beater, and I banned him.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
That was years ago.
The thing is that I even answered to the people I know. I said, look, having a friend on the other side doesn't make you chill, doesn't make you bad. That's when you start talking like them. That's when there's a red flag. But you can have like acquaintances with the enemies. I respect very much many people from the other side, but I won't share their opinion. I just will destroy them every time. It's in a brotherly fight.
Well, what he's doing is literally pairing false witness, because that is crap. That's so much friends with your best friends and buddies.
Everybody knows me. I don't like McToon at all. I think he's fake. I don't think he's a real Christian. I think he's literally just like a CIA plant. So what the hell would I be friends with guys like that? Come on.
Well, if the CIA was hiring him, that means that they have a very poor judgment, because that guy
he's an idiot.
It's a total,
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't have words in English.
Anyway, I want to ask you something, Sam, because you live in Israel.
Yes.
Macmac's telling me how evil the Shabbat Jews are.
Evil who?
The Chabad Jews.
Chabad, yes.
Yeah.
So I tell you something. In Israel we have like two main, currents, two main, kind of Jews. We have the Sephardic people. In other words, the Jews that lived among the Arabs, in the southern, in the outer rim, not the southern hemisphere anymore, but down south like this. And you have the Ashkenazi Jews, which live, in Europe, among the Christian, populations. So the thing is that the difference between us are, there's a big difference. We have more like an Arab mentality. We Sephardic Jews, like that means that we don't want to, innovate. We don't want to, do things like innovations and building and constructing and making wars. No, we just take life how it comes, and we, very like passive people.
Chill.
But that's normal, because people in the north, the weather in the north is harder. People in the north will tend to fight the environment, change what's around them, because they have to survive in the cold and everything. But in the south, you just reach for the tree and just grab the fruit and you eat. You don't have to work, you don't have to change nothing. Everything is is warm and nice. So it's a mentality is like this. So the problem is, among the Ashkenazi Jews, there are lots of people that are not Jews that pretend they are, because they look like them. The Ashkenazi Jews and the the non-Jews, Christians, they look exactly the same. You cannot make any difference. However, among us, if an Arab wanted to infiltrate us, and then
you'll know the difference.
we'll know it, before he knows it. So that's the thing. So there is very little infiltration among us, but among the Ashkenazi, there are lots of people that are not Jewish, and a lot of people that are
But I mean, with the Chabad, they actually anti-Zionisms. They're actually anti-Zionist, most of them.
the Chabad is not, according to what I know, is not anti-Arab or anti. It's just like he's preaching the, the coming of the Messiah, and he wants to. They want to, they want to push for the
They
Messiah
want to
to
accelerate.
come.
They want to accelerate
Yeah.
the Messiah. These are the guys that really want to
Yeah.
push for the third temple to be built.
But they also, yes, they're Ashkenazi Jews. Okay, the Chabad is Ashkenazi, pure Ashkenazi, movement. The founder of the Chabad movement is very well respected by everybody in all communities. However, me personally, I just everything which is Ashkenazi, I very much I'm very prudent, before to accept anything they say, to accept anybody they just any rabbi among them. I'm very, very cautious because I know things. I know I lived among the non-Jews, I lived among the Jews, and I can see the difference. I can see. So now the Chabad, if we are all flourishers, I made a video about all the priests, Christian priests, evangelists, and also rabbis that are preaching with a big globe behind them, with a big, a globe, and in my video I was saying that you cannot believe in God and believe in the globe in the same time, because there's nothing in the Bible that says that the earth is a globe, and everything goes actually the other way. Everything says that the earth is flat. But on the Jew side, it's only the Chabad people that come out with the globe behind them.
Huh, that's interesting.
Yes,
and they actually also supposed to be like the religious kind of Zionists, you could say.
No, not too much. It's not too much. It's more like they're not Zionists actually.
As I said, they're anti-Zionist, but they're on the religious side.
Oh yeah. So Chabad, of course, it's an Orthodox movement. It's an Orthodox religious movement.
Yeah.
But like a cool Orthodox. They like Orthodox Jews, but they're cool, and they do a lot of good actions. Like they help people, they help the poor, they help they help the Jews all over the world. They have their own network, they have money and everything, so they're very active. But again, I don't know, but
I've been hearing a lot about settlers lately. Would you be able to explain to us what the settlers are?
Settlers are actually Israeli people, Jews mostly, that come and decide to take a piece of an empty land, a piece of deserted place, and just start building without authorizations, without the government to give them any authorization. So they come with caravans, they put like a fence, they have
so they create their own community.
They want to create a community illegally, but the government's help or the government's recognition. So what happens is that if it doesn't bother anybody, because 95% of Israel is empty, you know that, and in the south of Israel, the Bedouins are doing this for decades. They just take a piece of land, they just build shacks, and they stay there forever, and the government cannot just put them out. So it's a common custom to do that among the Bedouins, the Arabs living in the desert in the south of Israel. But the settlers actually are the ones that usually come and just they grab the land without authorization. I can be also considered as a settler, but it's a different thing, because I came in an official. I'm in a city. I'm also in liberated territories and not occupied, and I live in a city that is recognized, that has been built for 40 years. So there's nothing illegal that they did, in Israel, because of course people can contest this. You can say, okay, this is Arab land or whatever, but it's this Jewish land. We know that, and the Arabs are welcome in the Jewish land. We need Arabs. It's stupid.
You guys have. I mean, you got like 2 million.
Yes,
in the land.
And
they're living happily.
And I'll tell you something. One of the main reasons why Israel is so successful in many things, it is because Israel is the only country in the Middle East where Arab and Jews work together.
Mm-hmm.
And like what you have been showed on TV, but in Israel, Arabs are like they go in the army, they are in the intelligence agencies. They're very much they're very much active in Israel.
Yeah,
and
well,
they thank God they're in Israel and not in the
yeah, well,
Palestinian side.
if you look at all the other Muslim countries around in the Middle East, there's not much Jews and Christians and things in those lands. It's overpopulation of just Muslims. And if you have, for instance, have a little bit of Christians or Jews living there, they're literally under such hectic legislation. They have to pay jizya and they have to pay all this, just to
exactly. They don't want to kill you. Yeah, they won't kill you, but you have to pay like a tax.
Tax.
Yeah, some kind of a tax. So that's the.
But you see, that's the difference that I'm trying to point out to people. If you are claiming to not, to be a non-Muslim and you go live in these Muslim countries, you either have to pay jizya or they kick you out or they give you the death penalty. But in Israel, everybody's welcome.
Of course.
You know how many Palestinians also live in Israel and work in Israel? I mean, I don't know if you know Tal. Sam? Tal.
No, I don't.
I actually want to send you his channel as well. He's an Israeli Jew, and he actually his landlord is Palestinian. He literally, and there's nothing issue between them. They're like, people are friendly. They love each other.
My brother-in-law, rented a house from an Arab, in Israel. There's no problem.
There's no issues. But it comes when it comes to the Gaza Strip with those Palestinians, which is like propagandized through Hamas, that everybody's trying to make as if everybody's hunting and hating each other.
You have to know that the first country, that helps the Palestinian in Gaza is Israel. Israel provides Gaza with electricity, with water, with medicine. They make them come, when they cannot operate them, over there because they don't have all the, the necessary technology. So they obtain authorizations, and we take them and we, make surgery on them, like here in Israel, for free, of course. They cannot pay. So Israel, despite what it is shown on TV, according to my experience, is actually doing everything which is humanly possible to avoid the death of civilians and innocents and casualties.
But
they have even technology and AI to do that. They invented programs just to recognize, who is armed and who is not. It's crazy.
But I mean, that's the thing, because you still get the people saying, "Oh, they're occupying Gaza." No, Israel pulled out of Gaza in 2005. They left everything there.
But before that, we had the state of Israel. People were also accusing the Jews of any kinds of shit, for 2000.
Nakba.
It doesn't matter.
Nakba was the same. It's exactly the same.
The thing is that I also want a free Palestine, free of Hamas, free of Soros NGOs that use them, and they create the misery. They maintain these people in the misery because they are weaponizing that misery against us. That's all they do. Hamas doesn't care about the Arabs.
They play emotional games.
They kill them. They kill them. I don't know if you remember, a few years, 20 years ago, it was it went all over the world. The little Al-Dura, I think, the kid and his father, they were caught in a crossfire between Israel and the at the time it was not Hamas, it was something else, and they were both shot and killed. They were shot to death in front of the TVs, and they made a campaign of that, and they said, "Oh, the Israeli just killed them in cold blood." And after the investigations, they found out that the Arabs killed them on purpose, not even to shoot at the Israelis. They had to, shoot from a different angle just to kill them, to accuse us. And this is what they do.
But that is like I said, that is the kind of game that they play, the emotional game, the victim. They do everything they can and then blame someone else for them because they want to make. Think about it, because if they can make their enemy look as bad as possible, the support that's usually for their enemy is going to move on to them.
Yes, but it doesn't matter at the level, because Israel is strong enough that it can defy any power. For now we don't. Now we cannot. It's very hard to defeat Israel. But the thing is that you have to understand that these people have been so twisted. in a Nazi fashion. Their kids are like being taught at a very young age to hate the Jews, and they being trained with weapons, as toys, like weapon toys, like this.
They literally have
And
summer camp for them.
the kids are totally like totally like brainwashed, very young, like the Nazis were doing.
Yep.
So and the thing is that the Arab nations don't fight for them. How come the Arabs don't raise an army and come and attack Israel or to defend them? They don't do nothing because they don't want them. They don't like them. And you know why? Because they betrayed every Arab country that gave them support.
And that's
In how do you call it? In not Dubai, the other one in Kuwait. Okay, Kuwait, took them. Yeah, they took them among them. And when Saddam Hussein came, to invade Kuwait, they turned against Kuwait and they went with Saddam Hussein. In Lebanon, same thing. The Christian, from Lebanon that accept them the most, they just like took them, and received them, and then they turned them and they massacred them, children, women, everything. Same thing in Iraq, same thing in Syria. In Syria, they also turned against.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But that's exactly why Egypt and them are keeping their borders closed. They want nothing to do with them. I actually showed a video. I showed a video the other day of an Arabian Arab, which was very explicit on how much he hates the Palestinians. The Palestinians.
There is an Egyptian blockade on Gaza. Nobody talks about it, but there is an Egyptian blockade on Gaza too. Not only an Israeli blockade, also an Egyptian. They don't want them. Nobody wants them because they prove themselves of being like very like untrustworthy. But it's not. I say it's not their fault. They were twisted like this. They were built like this.
Built it. I mean,
you understand?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. If you see the Palestinian TV, I mean, even from 16 and 11 years ago and things, they teaching children to hate the Jews. They're teaching children that there was never a Jewish Israel. It's always just been Palestine. And then they're like, okay, what are you going to do when you see a Jew one day? Oh, no, they teach them to stab them, to throw stones at them, to kill them.
So the thing is not even the TV that is responsible. It's the people that finance this.
Mm-hmm.
For example, in Europe, they're going to say, okay, let's help Gaza because they need the food and everything. So they're gonna give them like $500 million, like 500 million something. But that money is never going to go to the
the Arabs.
It's going to go to the Hamas. Hamas is going to take 200 million. It's going to kick back, in cash to the politicians that allowed this, like another 200 million.
Yeah.
And then they're going to put 100 million in reserves, and they're going to take about like $5 to $10 million, and they're going to buy like trucks with rice and potatoes, and they're going to just like film it. So in order to make you believe that the guys just ate $500 million with
But
potatoes.
I mean, let's say we go and you look at the Gaza Strip before October 7. It didn't really look too great anyway. It
never
looked like a slum anyway. Now,
of course,
now the war's there, and it looks even worse than a slum. And how much billions and billions and billions of dollars was pushed into the Gaza Strip, even since October 7?
Somebody's making money, that's for sure.
Right.
Yeah, Hamas.
And when they're going to reconstruct Gaza, they're going to be even making more money. So there are also like always cross interests, because the companies from Turkey, from Saudi, from all over the place are going to come and they're going to rebuild it, and Israeli companies also. But the thing is that we Israelis, Jews, it will be much better for us to have a state of Palestinians, in Gaza. That we can deal with, that we can make business with, do business with, because it's like 3 million customers we have there. You understand? So the thing is that peace will be much more profitable to Israel than war. War doesn't bring nothing. We don't make money out of this. We don't. Our people die, and it costs us a lot of money. So even if some companies at the end going to make some profit at some point, but for the state it's a disaster. It costs money and lives for nothing. There's no profit out of this. There's nothing to gain. We don't take the land. We don't take the we don't. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So it's there's no sense for us to make a war. But on their side, people are pushing for the wars. They don't care about the Palestinians. They don't care about the children.
But the war
they put the children in front of the even in Norway there was a video now.
Mm-hmm.
There was an imam that told all the women to put their babies in the carriages between them and the police because the police was charging. So that's the way they do it. They have no value for them, the lives of the kids, not for the Palestinians, for the people behind them.
Yeah, but I
You
mean,
understand?
the war can be ended straight away, just like Israel says. Just release the hostages, and then it's over. But now,
No,
but that, but that thing is
it's
that
never going to be
has,
over.
but the thing is that ship has sailed there.
It's never going to be
shown they
over.
don't. They've shown they don't want a resolution anyway, from both sides
No.
now. So
No.
it's just gonna escalate even more.
But look at the hatred, the blind hatred. How it makes them stupid.
Mm-hmm.
What do they think? Do they think that we're going to leave the land because they're sending us some rockets? Even if you send to Israel an atomic bomb, like 100 times more powerful than Hiroshima, it's going to kill maybe like 2 million people, and then another 2 million is going to have cancer, and then the other 5 millions are going to wash everything with water, and it's going to keep going. You understand? This is bullshit. Nothing can deter us. Nobody can just what I think. So the thing is that they know they cannot win by sending rockets and by doing it, but it's just like in the Bible it's written like this, that because we didn't exterminate these populations of Canaan and everything in the beginning, so they stay there and just we call that like small sharpened things in our eyes. I don't know how you said that in English, but there's just like a pain in the ass, just just to make us suffer for nothing. Mm-hmm. And I don't care. They don't care. As long as we suffer, it's okay if they win. Even if they cannot win, but that's for them, that's the objective, to make us suffer. Mm-hmm. That's all. There's no logic more than that. But it's gonna end. It's gonna not too long. The Arabs are starting to wake up now. Even the Gaza people, they're starting to wake up. They're starting to understand that they're being used.
I've been seeing lately, even some of the Palestinians self are like talking against Hamas. They don't want anything to do with Hamas. Of
course, they always did. They always did. But it's not publicized. But they always did. Hamas is like taking them like this. They don't provide for the people. People are like suffering. They have nothing there. What kind of government is that? What kind of an organization? It's a mafia.
Mm-hmm. Well, they try to intercept aid for the people that are trying, or they intercept aid for those we are trying to help.
You understand? So that's the problem. You have to distinguish between the population of Gaza, the kids, of course, and the innocent people, and the mafia that is holding them, and keeping them in that misery in order to use them as weapons against Israel. And behind them, all the NGOs, European NGOs, governments, Canada, England, France. Oh my God, France is like, they have it's blind love with the Arabs. France is like something crazy.
Well, I don't know if you noticed with France, a few years ago, they've been anyway infiltrated fully Muslim. So
yeah, they were. And that was big, good few years ago.
Yeah, we don't call it France anymore here in Israel. We call it Frankistan. But Netanyahu said that be careful, Israelis don't travel to Europe, because now Europe is officially declared as an Arab territory. All Europe.
Yeah.
There's
even towns now in Europe where the people who literally were born there aren't even allowed to go to certain towns because it's fully Islam. It's fully Muslim. They're not even allowed to go there. It's illegal.
Understand? So that's it. But I'll tell you something. This is understandable. France and England, they colonized the entire world. They went to these countries, to Africa, to Asia. They did what they did over there. It's a disaster. What they did is it's a disaster. And they stole, they killed, they for decades and decades. So of course you create a link with these people, and of course at one point these people are going to want to come, in your country. That's what's going on, and this is the end for Europe. Europe is dead already, but they don't even know it yet. But it's dead. I know. I went there not too long ago. It's like it's a third world country. It's like crazy. So. That's the sad things, but Arabs are waking up also, and flat earth also helps waking up. I found myself talking to Arabs. I didn't know that agreed with me about flat earth, and it was like a great experience. So people are waking up, and we have so much money to make by peace. Look at in every Arab country, people don't make money. They're all they don't work. In Egypt, they're making like $2 a day. 40 million people are unemployed. 40 million. You understand? So it's nuts. In Syria and everywhere you have
Sudan.
Arab refugees.
Yeah, look at Sudan and things. I mean, I keep on hearing every day, oh, the children in Gaza are dying of hunger and starvation, okay? But then you go look at Sudan, you go look at Syria, you go look at those Muslim countries. Thousands of children a day are dying of hunger.
Yeah, of course. But the thing is that if you just stick with the Palestinians, if you want to help the Palestinians, which is honorable to my eyes, this is good. You want to help the kids, you want to help people that suffer. That I'm with you. The thing is that the hypocrisy is showing up when those people are usually very caring about the Palestinians that live in Gaza, against Israel, but they don't care about the Palestinians that are in concentration camps in Lebanon, in Syria, and all over the place. They don't care about the Palestinians that have been killed, all over the Arab world, all over the place. They don't care, but they don't mention those Palestinians. They're just interested into the Palestinians, that fight Israel.
Yeah,
but the other ones, okay, they can die.
The only Palestinians they worry about now are the ones in Gaza. They don't worry about anything else.
Of course, Palestinians suffer and they're being killed and exploited and everything in every country because they hate them. They simply hate them. That's why they don't do nothing, about them. But anyways, this is I don't believe the Palestinians are, responsible just like as the Jews. I believe those elites, those powers, those people there that are causing all this, and this is
it's propaganda. It's just propaganda. That's
of course, but it's a war. It's a war. It's a war. It's a war. You know that in the Torah there was never no war between Ishmael and Israel, but there was always wars between Midian and Israel, and this is also what you have to understand. There are two kinds of Arabs, just as there are two kinds of Jews. There are Arabs that come from Ishmael, and these ones are right. They're good. They have the values of Abraham. They're straight people. They're very good people. I know them. It's unbelievable. And then you have the other ones that come from Midian. And Midian, the thing is that they don't come from Ishmael, and they don't even come from Abraham. Even though Abraham made them, because he married Keturah and he made all these 8 people, they're not considered his sons. They never came to bury him. He sent them, he expulsed them, he sent them to the east. So they're not really his son. They are called the son of his wife, but not his sons. And these are these people. This is the difference between Midian and Ishmael. Ishmael are they're very decent people. There's no homosexuality among them. There's no they're very straight people. But all the others, it's they're totally degenerate. And they play themselves like they're sons of Abraham and so forth, but they're not. It's a false appearance. They have nothing to do with Abraham. Abraham would have probably slaughtered them, So that's the thing. We have to distinguish among ourselves. Just like with you guys about Christians, you're gonna have true Christians, fake Christians. Like we have fake Jews, true Jews. Everything is we're under attack. We have the same enemies. You understand? So you're gonna find that same pattern everywhere in every community, every religion. You're gonna see that game there. What can I tell you?
Yeah, it's a weird thing to see.
Yeah, but interesting. We're living interesting times.
Oh yeah. Something's gonna happen soon. That's all I know.
Well, that's for sure because we can feel it in the air.
Yeah.
And when you feel it is when you look at the news and you see that they're just dumbing us down with bullshit, things that nobody cares about, and then you see that something is cooking when they do that. But see what happens. Actually, here we're preparing for another round of war with Iran. So see what happens with that.
Anybody else on the panel have anything to say?
No, I mean I'm absolutely cool.
Well, it's like tensions between Israel and Iran, or the U.S. and Iran, has rather been stoked for a very long time now, just like it was before with Iraq. And there are weapons of mass destruction that were never found. They have weapons, yes, sure. But, I mean, the whole war that the U.S. engaged with them was illegitimate, and they've never answered for that.
But you know that Saddam Hussein was a Freemason, right? Right, a 33-degree
Sure.
Scottish Rite.
Right. No,
Yes.
so it's like they kind of betrayed their own in that way.
Yes or no? Because you know what they forgot to mention when they were looking for the Saddam Hussein's government members is that Saddam Hussein actually had something like 6 or 7 how do you call that sozis, like people that looked exactly the same. For security they have like people that look the same. So he had like about 6 or 7 people that look exactly the same. And the thing is that they never caught these people, never mentioned them. So how hard could it be for them to condemn Saddam Hussein and just to make believe that he was killed and then send him to California in a mansion with like Brazilian whores for like the rest of his life?
I just want to point out to Glenn Salsh. He says, "My gosh, there's no need to propagandize children with limbs blown off. The circumstances paint the picture by themselves." That's exactly what, unfortunately, the Palestinian people do. They sacrifice their own children, literally for propaganda.
Well, their own children are being sacrificed for them, more than because this is the thing. Again, they're like also kinds of victims, but also they're involved in everything. Hey, if I see, or if you see, even you, a man with a AK-47, and a child with an AK-47, who are you going to kill first? Who are you going to stop first? The man or the child?
The man, obviously.
No, the child. Because the man can think. The child doesn't think. He doesn't think like a man. He's not responsible. He's going to just shoot like this. He doesn't have he's much more dangerous. A kid with a weapon is much more dangerous than a man with a weapon. This is what we learn.
I guess you're right when you think of it that way.
Yes, because the kid doesn't have any logic. If we tell the kid just raise your hand, we're going to kill you, just stop and everything, freeze, he doesn't care. The kid doesn't realize anything. He's just going to keep on going because he's a kid. You understand? A man will have some common sense and will stop. Won't do any crazy shit. But the kid is gonna. The kid doesn't have the same mind. So. Is much more dangerous. So that's a problem. That's a problem. So all this is interesting. It's not, but I advise everybody that want to understand things to come in Israel. You have like cheap flights. You can come, sit down in a cafe, talk to people. People are very open here. You can talk to Israelis. You can talk to Orthodox people, you can talk to Arabs, and people are gonna just answer you. Everybody speaks English here, I want
to ask you something. Is it illegal just to take someone's house?
It's illegal to take someone's wallet.
House, exactly. Because I got a guy in here, Paul Sayer. He says he can't talk right now, but he says he's got a story where Jews took his house or friend's house. I don't know exactly what it is.
Okay, the only way I don't know if he talks about the government. The only way the government can destroy your house if a member of your family, a close member of your family, was caught in a terrorist attack. Because what happens is like if you have a son, a brother that was terrorist, so they can destroy your house. So the house he was living in, this is automatic. They do it automatically.
Okay.
Because what happens is that the terrorist organizations, they do the opposite. They take the terrorists and say, okay, you can die, but we're going to take care of your family. They're going to have money to buy your house and everything. So we break this by doing this. This is but again, now to steal a house, I don't know how they can do that. To steal a house, no. To take a piece of land that's empty and go and put some caravans there, yes. This is classic. But again, and you have to know something, that in the territories, what you call the occupied territories, which we call the liberated territories, all the networks, electricity, water, the roads, it is fully paid by the state of Israel. They don't pay shit. They don't pay a dime. And they owe like $40 or $50 billion in electricity. They don't pay electricity. They don't pay nothing. So they profit from this also.
Yeah, I just want to find out. Wait. The Pulsar guy says, I said Zionist gangsters, largely thugs from Brooklyn. So are you from America, Pulsar? Is that what the guy's claiming? Am I reading correct in chat, guys? Because if he's claiming Brooklyn, then what's that got to do with Israel?
Brooklyn is
I'm not
a
really
Jewish
sure.
quarter. It's a Jewish neighborhood, I think. It's a Jewish neighborhood, I think, Brooklyn, right? Where the Jews
Brooklyn,
are.
Yeah, they have a lot of Jewish communities in New York. Yeah.
Yeah, of course, of course.
yeah, but still, what's that got to do with Israel, though?
Well, of course, the Jews are linked to Israel. All the Jews usually support Israel.
Yeah.
That's automatic. But the thing again, when I hear about Jewish lobby and everything, and of course there is. It's clear that there is a Jewish lobby. But on the other side, you have to understand something. Even when America helps Israel and they give like billions of dollars a year, don't you believe for 1 second that America is stupid, that the government is stupid, because they get back that money like tenfold. Because the cooperation with Israel also brings technology, innovations, new patents, new things, and also we do represent like a foothold of America in the Middle East. Which
Okay,
is-
I
which-
want
which
to
is to
point
the-
out. I want to point out quickly. Terry Yacom is talking about a map that Solve showed. Apparently, you probably know all about Nakba as well.
Narcos
Nakba.
and Nakba. Remind me, it's an Arab
940
term, I think.
Yeah, it was just after Israel became a state, and then the Muslim territories all the Arabians decided to attack Israel because they,
Yes.
quote unquote, wanted to take the land, and they failed that war, and it became what they call the catastrophe.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, that's right. I forgot. Yeah.
Now, the people are using Nakba, and they're claiming Palestine was the land before Israel. Nonsense, guys. There was never
Well, there's a very simple proof of this. When you see that the second, the walls of the second temple is under the mosque, you know who came first and who came second.
But that's the thing.
The mosque is above the temple.
But
so
that's the thing. The mosque of the Rock of the Dome came about 150 years after Muhammad even lived. How the hell did he go there if it wasn't built yet?
We don't know, but even at that point, there were no problems with the Jews and the Arabs, because the Jews that live among the Arabs, they know them perfectly. They have the same mentality. Here in Israel,
wait,
in Jerusalem.
Sorry, he's saying thugs from Brooklyn went to Jerusalem and took their homes. That's even more illegal because how they're not even part of the Israeli.
Sometimes what happens is that Arabs can sell. It's very highly forbidden amongst them, and it's very dangerous too. But sometimes it happens that an Arab sells his house in the Arab quarter to Jews. Why? Because the Jews are going to give him like three times the price. So, and then he has to leave Israel. He has to just run away because he's going to get killed. But it happens sometimes. Now, stealing a house, I don't know how it can be. What can he explain about this? How it was done. I tell you if it can be done or not. I don't. There are laws. The state of Israel and the judges are very tough on that. They don't play around with this. You cannot just take the house of an Arab. This is bullshit.
Hey, David, thank you for becoming a member. A subscriber. Really appreciate it. But yeah, I would really like to listen to Paul's story on this sometime. I think it should be interesting because it's difficult to actually get the storyline if it's just in chat and we don't really know what the context is of anything.
Well, he cannot join in?
No, he can't get in right now. He says it's a bit noisy where he is and things. Would have been great to be able to have him on.
So that's the thing, as soon as you talk about Israel, people of Israel, the Jewish people, the Torah, God, it becomes complicated, and of course you're gonna have a lot of confusions and people that don't understand or that don't agree, and
I'm not Arab. I'm a Syriac Aramaic Christian. That's quite cool.
Okay, Armenian probably. No.
Terry Whitcomb, then Sol was kicked from YouTube for telling the truth. You should try it. That's all I've been doing is telling the truth. You see, the difference is...
I'll say this.
The difference
Sav got...
Yeah?
Go ahead, sorry.
Sov's
Well, I was going to say Sav got kicked last night from YouTube because he was playing this anti-Semitic video calling crooked noses and all of that. And maybe there was some truth in it, but yeah, it was a pretty anti-Semitic video. I wasn't surprised he got taken down.
You see, that's what I believed also when I was a kid. When I grew up in Christianity, and we had those pictures of like the Jew with like the that nose there, and like like always like thinking about money and everything.
Yeah, that was the video. Yeah, he's like all these crooked nosed Jews and these communist Jews, and they're all and of course it got taken down.
But the thing is that as I discovered the Torah, I discovered my people. I realized that actually it's the total opposite. The true Jews, they don't care about money. They care about spirituality. They're very highly spiritual people. They can make money. There's no problem. And in exile, the Jews had to survive, so they excelled into making money, of course. But it's not in their nature. They're very generous. They're not like to like money comes from Lavan, the father-in-law of Jacob. He was like very materialistic, just like Pharaoh and all these people that we fought. We fought materialism. Actually, the story of the people of Israel coming out of Egypt is to break down, materialism. Also, not just like slavery, because it was slavery by money. I don't know if you accept that, if you understand that, but the money was enslaving people over there. It was the best way to enslave people, because you make the best slaves possible, the ones that don't want to escape. Okay, they cannot escape because they don't know they're slaves. So that's the beginning of the slavery. Pharaoh invented the first coins. This I can show you in the Bible how we can deduct that. But again, the real Jew is not. You know how many places we have here in Israel of like free restaurants for people that have no money, and you can eat meat and very good stuff, and plenty of them. People don't. There's no one guy that can say I have nothing to eat in Israel. That's his bullshit. Everybody has to eat. Even me at one point, I didn't have too much money, and we had associations here and everything. They gave us like fish, meat, fruits, like for thousands of shekels and hundreds and hundreds of dollars. It was crazy. So people help a lot. People are very generous, and it's not in the nature of the Jews really to be like this. But again, exile made many Jews, really, chasing money all the time and everything. But it's not actually in our original nature. So just to tell you. And also in the Torah, it's written that Jacob didn't have any money. Jacob came to Lavan. He didn't have shit. He didn't have no money, but he had, he had brains. He had, he knew how to work harder. To, was
well, he worked. He did work for a long time, didn't he?
Yes.
21 years old, no, wasn't it?
He arrived at Lavan's place at the age of 77 years old.
Yeah.
He worked 7 years for his first wife. He was 84 years old. Yes.
Yeah.
And then he gave him the second wife, but he had to work another 7 years.
Right. I thought it was 14 years after that, so it was 14. For the
14 is total.
Right.
But if you want, I can tell you a little secret on that. When Jacob left his house, his father's house, he went in a yeshiva, that's a Jewish Torah learning center, very known place that's called the Yeshiva of Shem and Ever. Those were the two. The Shem was the son of Noah, and Ever was one of his grandsons. Yeah, and they built a high university like MIT, like it was the Torah MIT stuff, And he went and he learned 14 years. Exactly over there, in the yeshiva of Shem and Ever. Okay, now he comes to Lavan, and suddenly he asks, "Oh, I will work 7 years for you, daughter." What, are you stupid? Just work like 2 months, 3 months, a year. Why 7 fucking years right away? What are you doing? What are you doing? You understand? And you understand something, that in fact what they did in the beginning when he didn't have any money, so they sat down. It's written that they sat down, Lavan and Jacob. And actually, he taught Lavan for 7 years what he learned for 7 years in the yeshiva over there. But then Lavan wanted to learn also from Jacob what he learned about the other 7 years he stayed. So actually, what happened is that for 14 years, the job of Jacob was to teach the secrets that he learned in that big university there. and he taught him this. So you can deduct all this in between the lines, because officially just like was raising ships, but it's like you're saying like the Einstein came and just like raised ships for like 14 years. That's bullshit. That's just like a way to to dress up with mysticism, dress up the story, not to be forgotten, but it's a little deeper.
It's a mad story, isn't it? So 20 years all in all, wasn't it? 7, and then 6 because he worked,
yes,
and
exactly.
he was tricked into marrying,
exactly.
And then a further 7, and then he continued for another 6 years.
Yeah, then he arrived in Egypt at the age of 130 years old, and then he died there. Well, actually, it's not written that he died. It's written that he stopped living, but it's not written textual that he died. And there are lots of discussions that it's possible that he didn't really die, even though it's written that he's been embalmed, like the mummies, like what they do with the mummies. But there are discussions about why it is not written like for the other guys that he died. So there's some secret there, some things. So, but these people knew secrets, man. This is not like today, These people were great people. They knew great secrets and great things from people that were even greater than them before that. So we don't know. This is what these books hold. It's not about stories about a guy, riding his donkey somewhere.
I don't know if you've ever heard this. I've heard people say things like Cain still alive today because God put a mark on him and said, "You shall not kill him." You know what I mean? But that doesn't mean to say he wouldn't die.
There are people, and there are people we believe up to today that are still alive from the Bible. I don't know how many. We don't know who they are, but we know that there are people in the Bible that live like for a few hundred years and even up to like 1500 years. Hiram, the king of Lebanon, there, the lives of Solomon lived also very, very old.
Yeah.
But this is like it's just like little information, some clues left and right. Like this is nothing, nothing consistent, nothing like
True.
But the thing is that these books are made, are full of secrets and things that we need to understand as soon as possible in our generation, in order to help our generation, with all the problems that they have. So time comes now to understand things. So you guys started with the flat earth. You started understanding, what surrounds us, like our body. We're taking up, we have the consciousness of our body, of what what we're into. The next step, I believe, is going to be like the consciousness of it's going to go to a spiritual level, just like God makes the body first, and then He puts the soul. Same thing. First, you're going to have flat Earth, with all the science and everything it comes with, and then it's going to be like great discussions about spirit, spiritual things, like you do a little bit. Check it out. You started with flat Earth a little bit. Now you make more like debates and podcasts on spiritual matters, checking out the Bible, this, that, and investigating, digging.
I just want to point out something in chat. Someone's like, "Oh, Flat Earth's doing this just so he can make money." Okay, yeah, guys, I'm making so much money. How much super chats have I got tonight again? Nothing. How much super chats have I had really in the last?
Oh my goodness! Like you make a bloody fortune.
I'm sorry, pissing people off doesn't make you money.
No, it doesn't.
It lets you lose subs, and as you can see, my subs have been going down.
If it was, there'd be a lot of rich people in the world.
Yeah.
That's what.
Like, you enjoy your nickel, Keith.
Yeah.
Like, oh, wow, yeah, you're just making hand over fist. No.
It's weird. I'm literally getting opposite of what I usually get, and they're telling me I'm making so much money. I'm losing subscribers daily.
But what's wrong with making money? I don't
everything to
understand.
please everyone. That's nonsense. It's because I don't say things to please people that I'm losing subscribers.
And that is the cost, Keith.
Mm-hmm.
What's so wrong about making money, anyways? Like
No,
like
it's the
David
love of
Weiss.
money. That's a danger, Sam. But no, clearly because Keith doesn't have a love of money.
To have the love of money.
Oh, love of money.
Mhm.
Right.
Somebody in the chat said you could have got paid a while ago. I guess they're paying in lump sums. They're like, all right, here's your paycheck for the year from IDF for whoever.
Well, apparently, I'm
the...
part of Mossad, so I'm still waiting for my paycheck from Mossad.
Oh man. Yeah. What can I tell you?
Oh yeah, if you're a part of Mossad, you're the worst agent they've ever had.
Yeah, obviously.
But that brings me to ask you a question. We talk a lot about the Illuminati, the Freemasons, all the secret agents and everybody that could infiltrate us. But again, I'm asking myself a question. I believe that in the intelligence community, like CIA, Mossad, MI6, all that stuff, I believe that a majority of these agents, of these spies there, are flat earthers, because they know. They're not stupid.
They do know.
They have to know. They just cannot, express themselves because they belong into a system that, they're not free. But actually, I believe that there are many flat earthers, among those agencies. And I wish we could have ways to contact them or to have them help us, because they can have access to information. Again, we don't need the launch code of the nuclear submarines. We don't give a shit about that, but we just would like to know if there is like any documents or pictures of the skies, the real Earth from above, things like this. But actually, there are. And how about
supposedly a lot of the weaponry proves a flat Earth. Like I've heard the railgun that only works unless it's completely flat.